Hey 4xe fans, I just realized that I had never made a 3-year Jeep anniversary video for this channel. March 31st of 2021 is when I picked up my Jeep Wrangler, which made it the first Jeep and only Jeep delivered in the first quarter of 2021, the 4xe anyway. So I passed the 3-year mark. I'm actually recording this on May 2nd, so I'm a month and 2 days over my 3-year Jeep anniversary, and I just wanted to share some thoughts. Some of this is like my wish list, like I wish they would have done this kind of thing, and some of this is kind of gets into some different territory. So overall, I am way pleased with my Jeep. It's been a great Jeep. I love it. I don't have a lot of complaints. I think Jeep smacked it out of the park with the first year for the Wrangler 4xe. I think they did a spectacular job from design to engineering to implementation to manufacturing. I think they really did a great job, and that's my honest opinion. Even though I'm very connected with the 4xe community, if you are not part of the Jeep 4xe fans Facebook group, that's a great place to connect with the 4xe community. I think we're 21,800 people now in that group, and so we've seen a lot. We've seen a lot of things, and we've seen a lot of problems. And I will say I'm gonna acknowledge those problems, and there's also like a little star to that. There have been some problems with some Jeeps doing weird things that the dealerships just can't figure out. To me, that falls back on Jeep, that they need to do a better job of providing the dealerships with the troubleshooting tools that they need, the diagnostic tools that they need. There have been multiple software updates to the 4xe, which makes me excited. I'm glad Jeep is doing that. I'm glad Jeep is adjusting on the fly and is responding to the need. That is huge. Not all auto manufacturers will do that. They'll just say, we'll fix it when the next one comes out. But Jeep has been doing a great job of doing updates, and not over the air unless it's just the Uconnect. But at least they're doing those updates. And one thing that I think goes along with that, in some way, shape, or form, it seems like the software could have been developed better from the start, from a troubleshooting standpoint for the garages, because it seems like some of the garages just run into stuff. When I say garage, I mean the dealership. It seems like they run into stuff that they can't troubleshoot. They lack the ability to troubleshoot. I myself early on had a failed coolant pump, or failed electric coolant heater, I should say. I have had a coolant pump fail twice, and I'll get to that here in a little bit. And in the early days, there was a communications error between that electric coolant heater and its module that it was connected with. And so the thing could not report what the problem was. We could tell there was a problem because the gas engine was running. There was a message coming up that said electric mode was unavailable, but there was nothing to tell the dealership that, hey, there's this electric coolant heater is dead. That software update has since taken care of that issue to where it throws a check engine light and throws a code when the coolant heater goes down. So that's both good and bad. It's kind of stinks that some of those things weren't there from the beginning, but it's awesome that Jeep is responding to those things and doing those updates along the way. And another issue that I feel we have to acknowledge reflects more on Jeep suppliers than it does on Jeep, but the onus is on Jeep to make sure these issues are addressed. And that is with the parts that are very common to fail in the Wrangler 4xe. And that includes the electric coolant heater and one of the coolant pump, like the coolant pump A. That seems to be one that goes a lot. And we've seen, we've done a few polls in the group and found it's like 20% of people have had electric coolant heater fail. That is a supplier issue. That's something going on with the supplier, that those initial pumps are going bad, or the coolant heaters are going bad. And then once they replace them, we have only had like a few people that have had like a second electric coolant heater go bad. So I don't understand that. And that coolant heater has been an issue since before the 4xe came out, because it's the same part used in the Chrysler Pacifica plug-in hybrid minivan. And so that part has been problematic for years, and it just seems like that should have been addressed and I feel like Jeep needs to get heavy-handed with their supplier on that issue. Although, I will say, we're not seeing near the number of those cases that we were seeing in the beginning. Somewhere in 23, I think towards the end of 23, we started seeing a decline in that particular issue with the electric coolant heaters. So I think something has been done. And like I said, I lost a coolant pump. I've actually lost coolant pump A twice now. And that to me is a little silly. That should be a part that's pretty rugged. I literally went through some mud and a couple puddles and I lost my coolant pump. So that makes me also wonder if there's a harness issue. I don't know, but it really shouldn't fail that easier. And so that one, I might blame Jeep a little bit on that one, because if the wiring or something just isn't what it should be, and then that's either a design or a manufacturing issue that does need to be looked at. And that part has failed some. It's not a high failure rate, at least not what we see in the 4xe fans group, but there's enough that it has our attention. What else has gone on? So me personally with mine, I'm very happy with it. I've had very few issues. I do wish, I think like a lot of people, I do wish the battery was a little bigger. It would be nice to go with like a series hybrid setup with a larger battery, maybe a little smaller engine, but of course the engine has to be big enough to generate enough power to get this thing down the road at 80 mile an hour or whatever speed they determine is the speed that they have to have the power for. So the engine probably can't be a whole lot smaller, but it would be nice to see a little less priority placed on the gas engine, a little more on the battery. I've said that in the past. That's really nothing new. Something that I think would be nice to see done in the 4xe is an eco mode on the cruise control. If you are running in electric mode and you're using the cruise control, and I do this sometimes like on local surface streets, and you hit resume, it actually drops the hammer so hard on the gas pedal that it'll force the gas engine to run even if you're in electric mode. I feel like that was an oversight that should have been addressed. Like maybe if I'm in electric mode, it puts my cruise control in an economy mode, or put that in the Uconnect and give me that option in the Uconnect to put my cruise control in a less aggressive state. As well, a feature I would like to see on the e-hybrid screen, when you go into the Uconnect and you hit e-save, you have two options there. You have battery save and battery charge. As we know, the 24s came with the ability to charge a little faster. Of course, it probably uses more gas in the process, but it seems like it charges more aggressively. And the updates that we all got during the defrost recall or the B9A battery recall, we all seem to get that software update that makes the e-save charge more aggressively. And I think that was in response to owners. I think Jeep responded and heard us and said we would like it to charge harder. And of course, e-save, if you go and watch some of my other videos, I have my own issues with e-save because it's not a very efficient way to operate the vehicle. That should only be if you want that battery for when you get someplace. There's no other real benefit to it from a energy consumption perspective. There's no other real benefit to it. But what I would like to see on that e-save charging screen, instead of just those two buttons, I would like to see a slider in there. And at one end of the slider would be battery save, and at the other end of the slider would be the absolute hardest it can charge. And then allow me to pick somewhere in the middle there. If I'm going 80 miles, I might want to charge pretty hard. If I'm going 200 miles, I may not want to charge that hard. I may want to have that time, a little bit more efficiency. And of course, it would alter the efficiency a little bit along that same slider too. The harder you charge, the less, the more gas you're going to use. And so I would like to see a way to change that and have some control over it. As well, another slider I would like to see would be the aggressiveness of the max regen pull, whatever force you want to call that. Certainly that is software variable. It could be adjusted via software. I'd like to see a slider on that so that I could adjust the max regen to a harder or softer max regen. But other than that, I think overall, those are just my thoughts. I can't think of any others that really are are clicking off in my head right now. But let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think? If you've had a Wrangler 4xe for a little while, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.